we got these crazy spectacles on. Hey, how you doing? Happy Friday. It's Friday highlights. Out here today, live in crazy Southern California. But I want to come on here for Friday highlights. I'll be your host. I'm Erick Paul of the Amp Live Real Estate Show. Also, part of AHA, Americans Helping Americans, one American at a time, one family at a time, one property at a time, doing our part to get America back on track again, right? And Amp Live, appreciate it. Sponsored by VIP Execs and Amp Live Media. But I want to come on here and talk. I'm going to come on here and talk a little bit about Friday highlights, what's going on in the market, what's going on from the East Coast to the West Coast, and everything in between. My voice is going to be, might burn my voice out a little bit, but you're going to get some awesome nuggets today. You're going to drop some awesome stuff on what's going on in the industry, what's going on with creative real estate investing, some real estate stuff, the traditional real estate agent, licensing, brokers, all that good stuff. But creative real estate is our jam. We live in that square box is where the agent and brokers live. We live outside that box, right? That's where, everything is done in the private sector, I like to call it. And then you got your public sector, right? Agents and brokers, real estate investors, creative real estate investors, wholesalers, whatever you want to call them, bird dogs, private sector, outside of that box. And that's where we live. We lived there for a while. I've been there since 2003 when I got started. I got started working the JOB just like you. If you're watching this thing and you're trying to get out of the JOB and move into the lane of a Maverick or get into real estate or some type of business as an entrepreneur, then you're at the right place. Love to speak with you. If you got questions, reach out, type them down below. I may or may not see them. I'm not moderating, and we don't have anybody moderating anything right now. It's just to get it in the can for Friday highlights. Yes, we monetize it, we push it, but if you see the videos floating around throughout social media, stop them, because I'm always dropping some awesome nuggets that you can take into the field and use. Or it's going to pique some curiosity and going, I like what he's saying. This makes sense. This is what I need, right? Because we do mentor and train people across the United States of America. It's one of the only training programs, only mentoring programs on the planet like it. We actually train and mentor you and others across the United States 7 days a week if needed. I got my awesome polo on, got the red on, awesome. So I feel good today. I feel better, rocking and rolling. It's been a crazy, crazy year. We're gearing up and preparing for 2023, 24, 25, 26. Keep on rolling, right? Especially 2025. And some crystal ball things, right, in regards to cycles and trends, what we think is going to happen. But it's been kind of tricky with the elections and the current administration, things that are going on, with the House and the Senate and all kinds of stuff. Yes, so throwing in a little bit of sprinkling of political stuff. I am a God-fearing man, so there's a little bit of religion as well, right? If it offends you, press the button, go somewhere else. So if it doesn't, if it bothers you, I get it. But this is America. It's about free speech. That's why we have these lovely things now, and we can do this across the United States of America to a degree. Some countries are blocked and things of that nature, but I won't get into that. But we're here. This is America. It's the greatest country in the world. AHA is what we represent. We represent our fellow Americans, right? We want to help people get out of the JOB and move into the lane of a Maverick while we're forging forward and moving forward towards that path, right? And coming aboard as a Maverick and then branching off. Okay, it's to help wake up some Americans throughout the United States of America. If you're tired, you're burned out, you want freedom, you want to build a legacy, you want to spend more time with your family. That's why I did it, because I wasn't seeing my kids and stuff and working, believe it or not, right, 70, 80, 90 hours a week at a gig. I think one time I worked 23 hours. The boss said, go home and get a little rest. I said, well, how am I going to rest in 1 hour? It's going to take me time to go home. I got to jump in the shower, give me something to eat, and take a cat nap standing up like a damn horse, and then go back. He said, yeah, pretty much. I need you here, okay? We got regional and all these people coming down, and I need you here. So I was like, okay, hey, that's what I signed up to do. And that's me. I'm a stickler, right? I'm kind of stubborn that way. Once I start something, I keep rocking, I keep moving. Then, even to the point where, man, you just got to move on, right? There's got to be something better. And that's where frustration comes in. That's where you might be. That's what usually happens to fellow Americans, or if you're in a career, or you're jumping from career to career, or you're just trying to figure out who you are, what you're about, right? What makes you tick. and kind of a lot of revelations been coming down the wire as we're moving forward into this decade and all the things that have happened, and seen a lot of stuff because we speak with thousands and thousands of people every year. And it's a selection process. We're still a selection process. It's not like, hey, if you got a pulse, you can go buy our program. Put up a credit card and you're good to go. No, we got to know that it's a good fit, and we only want to work with people who punch away a paper bag, be coachable, take action, follow directions, and show up to the party. Right? If you show up, you're going to get results. And then we talk about those aha moments when they come, and then we discuss those and rinse and repeat. But it is all plug and play. I wanted to talk more about what's going on in the industry. So, and what's kind of what type of deals we're seeing, right? And it doesn't matter whether it's single family, commercial property, retail property, hotels, motels, land, storage. Everything goes through its little cycles and its little niches as investors maneuver and navigate through the industry. And even the gurus and people coming up with software, and it's always moving. It's a living organism, just like life, right? Business is a moving organism or a living organism. It just moves and it manifests and it does its thing. Of course, you got to have faith in yourself. That's why I'm big supporter of mindset. Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. Brian Tracy's awesome. You got the Think and Grow Rich guru, right? Bob Proctor. There's a lot of people, and God rest his soul, by the way. And but it's knowledge, right? They spent their lifetime gathering this info to give it to you, to give it to us. And it's there. They recognize it. They understand it. And then they want to help other, kind of like I'm on that mission, help the fellow Americans, help our people in the United States of America or the world or anybody who wants to hear it, and the universe, right? And that's what it's about. Is just, watching a crazy movie. I'm going to go on a little rant, but there was a cool movie. It was about miracles and about why do some people get selected to live and others don't, and it came down to this young man. I forgot the name of the movie, but I watched it with the boss, my wife. And it was just basically a young man. He was adopted by some parents in the Midwest, Missouri. Maybe you've seen the movie. And then, he ended up, he's really rebellious because he was adopted. Why did they give me up? Why did nobody love me? Right. But a couple that was, it was about God and religion. They, believe in God, and that was their faith. And, but the young man was just really angry. Ended up playing on the ice, and he fell through the ice. And, long story short, yeah, he probably should have died because he was like, and then even, the gentleman who saved him was an atheist. And he literally heard someone say, hey, you need to go back out. And he talked to the rest of the firemen, and he said, no, I didn't say anything. He said, basically, two things that happened, right? I'm either crazy or God was talking to me, right? So it is what it is, right? Miracles are miracles. I believe when things are all lined up, and that's the thing when, magic happens, is when things are lined up, the stars are lined up, all that, whatever you want to call it, the universe, things were happening with certain people because we're all connected, right? Humans are all connected. We're connected to the earth, the world, and all that good stuff. When I was younger, I didn't believe any of that, sham wow stuff, right? It's like, whatever, what is it, mystical, magical stuff? It's pure evil. No, it's not. It's actually the opposite. But this young man was in the hospital, and and then things started manifesting, right? The mom wanted to only have positive doctors around because they're talking, he's not going to make it, he's going to die. Nobody's ever made it. And positive PMA, I always push PMA, right? Or I try to represent and try to promote PMA, positive mental attitude with action. When I was younger, my mother used to say, have the faith, have the faith, have the faith. But it's, the faith is not going to bring you food. Faith is not going to bring you shelter. Faith is not going to bring you shit unless you put in the work, right? Faith without works is dead. You got to do something. You can be connected to God and pray, but, you have to get out there and make things happen so God he's putting those things in front of you. But you got to move forward so you can maneuver and get in contact with those things so you can continue to move forward, right? If you stay in that same place and just pray and nothing happens, you go, what happened? There is no God. Or, hey, why aren't things happening for me? It's happening for him and her, but not for me. Why? Because you're not moving forward. You have to move forward. You have to take a chance. You only live once. So you got to move forward and take action. You got to jump into the pool, so to speak, even if you don't know how to swim. Or you tread lightly and you learn how to swim, and then you swim out to your ship, right? As I always say, people are waiting for their ships to come in. My ship's coming in. I'm all prepared and ready and packed up and they're waiting at the dock and nothing happens. Well, because they got to get in another boat or they got to jump in that son of a bitch and swim out to their ship, right? Because that's the only way it's going to happen. And a lot of people just don't want to do that. They like the safety of the dock and they want to stay in the dock. And going, okay, well, when stuff comes down, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, right? So there's a lot of analogies I'm going to drop, but it's true. A lot of it's mindset. 99% of this business and anything that you do entrepreneur-wise is mindset. You have to believe it. Nobody else does. If you don't believe it, nobody else can believe it, right? You have to believe it to your core. But back to the story, but the thing that saved this young man was his mother's faith, right? And as well as all the negative, she squeezed out and pushed the positive with positive mental attitude, pushed away all the negative mental attitude. The doctors, don't be talking about my son can hear you. Don't be talking about him dying. He's not going to make it. Well, you're standing here with my son because he can freaking hear you. So leave the freaking room. Now, the husband was, whining and crying. Oh, I can't deal with this and this and that. And you're being so rude to the doctors. Can we, not be so rude? But the mother knew she was connected, right? She knew, she had faith that he's going to live. He has to live somehow. The others are like, they're preparing. Hey, he's going to be, if he lives, he's a vegetable, right? So, those things, but what it was is the mother had that faith, that blind faith. And then eventually she had to break down and rest because she was getting sick. And then all kinds of other people started coming to the table and, like the school and people, and they put it on the pasture and they put it on the news, and then prayer. So here's the power of prayer, right? Power of prayer, power of love. I'm not getting all lovey-dovey on it, but it's true. Those are the principles that are solid, that are based on humanity, based on human beings, right? And when you tap into that stuff, it's super, super powerful. That's why when people are, countries or kings and queens or even, current administration or things that are going on, they want to suppress it. They want to push it down because the power of prayer can destroy everything, and love can destroy. It's united we stand. They know that. That was the foundation of what the United States of America was about and still is. But you got to remember, when they suppress that stuff, or anybody's trying to suppress you or things, that's, it's not going to work, and you're going to break free. If we've known from anything, man has never been housed. Even when they try to conquer and suppress it, they break away. There's revolution. There's break arm, whatever. They come up in arms and take over at the end of the day, because you cannot cage humanity. You cannot cage a human being. It just doesn't work. Yeah, they're smart how they're doing it over time, right? So what I'm getting at is that this young man, it was all about PMA. It was all about prayer. It wasn't about one prayer. It wasn't about a mom and dad praying. It was about a big school and about, people seeing it. And then the world and anybody who watched the videos are saying, please pray for my son. The ones that pray from home, they pray from work, they pray from wherever they're at, threw that into the universe and gave life to this young man. Because he actually is in his lungs, he was probably said, look, he's going to die. He has a bunch of blood in his lungs. His brain is all, erratic, and, it's deteriorating. All kinds of other stuff. And then, after in the morning, they said, hey, we just got to wake him up, get him out of the coma, because all these chemicals and, the drugs are going to kill him. Long story short, once they woke him up and they tested his lungs and everything disappeared, right? So they call it a miracle, call it whatever you want, right? It is what it is. It shows that the power of humanity, when everybody gets together and goes towards something, it had to be the whole world, but just PMA, positive mental attitude. And I always say, hey, the golden rule, treat others as you would like to be treated, okay? And yeah, there's an eye for an eye. You pick your battles. You treat me like shit, I'm going to treat you like shit. If you're catching me on a bad day, vice versa, right? Or you just decide, I'm going to walk away. Not about turning the other cheek, because, hey, in the Bible, a lot of things are pretty ferocious, right? And things that they've done. The bottom line is that people out here right now in today's market are getting a little crazy. It is going into fall and winter. We're seeing, the stuff of where, agents are doing crazy stuff and unscrupulous things and not being honest about things, and brokers and lenders and investors and wholesalers and bird doggers, right? And copy and pasters are doing whatever they need to do to try to steal deals, circumvent. It wasn't happening a lot, because when things are rolling, things don't happen that much, right? When things get a little scarce and things get a little more tough, get a little tougher, then people start chipping away at their moral compass, right? I always say, hey, if you're solid in your moral compass, you believe in what you believe in, and you're not gonna, harm or hurt your fellow man at the end of the day. Make sure something real quick. Then you should be golden. Okay, cool. All right. It's a little something, something. Only going to go about 15 more minutes, but this is what's happening right now, just from experience from the East Coast to the West Coast and some things in between, right? Texas is pretty brutal, right? You got people that'll circumvent. They'll go around your back. They'll go knock on the door. They'll say, hey, get rid of these people and do a deal with me. So you got to cross your T's and dot your I's, make sure you're covering your butt, build that relationship with the seller, okay, to the point where somebody comes and says, hey, Mr. Seller or Mrs. Seller, I'll give you more money. Get rid of these guys, these people. I'll pay you more. Can I do that? Sure. Cancel the contract. Go ahead. And then I'll go ahead and write a contract with me and I'll get you more money. That's what's happening, right? Now, it's always been happening, but in times when it's tight and it gets brutal, like throwing a bunch of monkeys in a barrel, everybody's fighting, right? What happens? Right? It gets ugly. So that's going to start happening. And some areas it's just always been that happening. That's just it's just protocol, and it happens. So, for example, in Texas, things are like that are happening, right? Where people are circumventing. So make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's. Build that relationship with the seller to the point where we're going, hey, no, it's all right. Hey, I'll tell you what, I'm going with these people because they've helped me. I'm working with them, and here you go. Here's the number. Contact them. That's how it usually works with us when we build that relationship with the seller. And then sometimes you just can't, right? The seller is who the seller is. And in our training, our programming, when we do work our program, the art of the deal, right, is to build that relationship with people. And when we're building that relationship with people, right, it's a connection. But sometimes, hey, we do our best, and you can't win 100 at everything, right? But we have a very, very, very good closing ratio and ratios. We're going, talking with sellers, working with sellers, building that relationship with them, right? But if something happens, right, and that's why it's important to lock it up the way you need to lock up the property to do it, fix, flip, buy, hold, sell, flip, whatever you're going to do with it, subject to seller financing, do what you need to do to protect yourself as an investor. And yes, protect the seller as well, because those things are super important. So then, and make sure you do what you need to do and follow protocol. So, they can't just say, I want to cancel. Well, you can cancel, but, hey, there's some repercussions that are going to happen. And if you do, it's just part of the process, right? Some will go for it, some will just let it go. Some are like, hey, I get it, whatever. But you got to push it the way you got to push it. But just watch your back, be aware, be solid. I always say integrity and loyalty, right? Communication could break down, and you can repair those things, right? You have a family. I mean, I have a family. You have a family. We all got families. We got things to do, right? We're all moving because we're all always in a constant flow. 9 times out of 10. So, communication can be fixed. Integrity and loyalty cannot. Once they do that to you, then, hey, you don't need to do business with them anymore. Put them in your black book to make sure and share the word that, hey, these people are not good people to deal with. If the seller does it to you, it happens, right? There are some sellers that are unscrupulous. They will tell you as much as you ask them to a degree, but you got to kind of fill them out. But it's like anything else, when they get backed up into a corner, it's like backing a cat into a corner. Or an animal, they're gonna do whatever they're gonna do for them, regardless of how much you've helped them. Anyways, it's just human nature, right? I guess, because we're all, I guess, animals too, to a degree, right? Civilized ones, if that sometimes. But the bottom line is that it's gonna happen. And then there's awesome sellers that appreciate you. They're crying. They thank you. And they're like, no, I'm sticking with these people because they helped me. You're the only one who's helped me. Family members said they were going to help me and they didn't. The agent said they were going to help me and it didn't happen, right? They want me to spend 50 grand to do this and that and this and all kinds of stuff. And I don't got time to do that if it's a pre-foreclosure. Or I don't have time because it's probate or got too many heirs. There's always all kinds of little differences if you're dealing with distressed situations, right? And that's our specialty. That's what we're doing. We're looking for undervalued property, distressed situations, so we can come in and provide solutions. When I first got started, yeah, did I get circumvented? Of course. That's why we got protocol. And then we share that protocol with all our mentees and people that we train and work with, right? To protect yourself at the end of the day and make sure you're crossing those T's and dotting those I's. Super, super important, right? So when we're working through this, I'm just saying that we're seeing that activity is happening. And it's not just with sellers, right? So it's with buyers too. And buyers, they're kind of changing their tune, going, oh, I want to go back to the last cycle. I want 60, 65 cents on the dollar, 50 cents on the dollar. Okay, I get it. Hey, if you could take it down, take it down. And then, cherry pick the good ones and pass on the others too, if you're getting those, right? Not going to see much of that right now. We still got, I think, some room to get to that point, because the market's still adjusting from all the agents and sellers being greedy and putting stuff on the market, saying, I'll put on the market, I get you $50,000 more, I get you $20,000 more. I'm actually still hearing it. We were on a call and we heard there was a seller saying, hey, I want this amount. The agent said they're going to list it for this amount and they'll get me this amount. I said, that's great. Hopefully it works out for you. If it don't and it doesn't close, you got our information. Give us a shot and we'll get you another offer. It's probably not going to be what we offered you. Maybe it will, or we might not be interested at all. We'll go buy the pre-foreclosure around your block, all right? And there's other people that are in pre-foreclosures, and they're saying, yeah, I want to sell it, or what can I do? I want to give it back to the bank, or I don't, or I want to keep it. They can't get a loan mod for whatever reason, right? You got to be able to have the ability to pay. If you don't have the ability to pay, the bank doesn't legally have to give you a loan mod, right? They just got to give you a chance to go through the motions, and eventually they're going to foreclose. And even statistically, from what we found, is that most sellers who do loan mods, 50% of them are going to go back into foreclosure again. It sucks. I know it's a vicious cycle. And others will be able to, fix it, move on, refi, sell the house, or keep the house and move on with their lives, because they just had a little fluke that happened. And those things happen in life. And we're seeing that. And sellers are, they're adjusting. Going, yes, I get it. I hear it. I see it on the news, right? And that's the thing, right? You can't believe everything on the news that you see, but it is what it is. You got to do your due diligence, just like a real estate investor. You have to do your homework when you're looking at stuff like that. And what's the pulse of what's going on in Florida and here and everything in between? You're going to see that things are different all over the place, but there's still a blanket of the same thing happening, right? Everything's adjusting. Interest rates went up, and then they're coming back down. No one's going to be able to, no more fix and flip. I don't want to fix and flip because nobody's buying. That's all bullshit. Everything's always going on in the market. It's like I tell everybody, you make your money when you buy it, so buy it right. If you buy it right, you can dump it. If you have to take, if you had to unload that son of a bitch, then, you're still going to make money, and the investor's going to make money. You make your money when you buy it, not when you sell it. So if you buy it right, you're good to go. But that's the problem. People get, oh, I want to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do 80, 85, or shit, I just want to get the deal. That's fine. You can take inventory and move it. There's nothing wrong with that. Real estate agents get inventory and they take listings, right? Not every listing is going to pop, and they know that. But they know how many listings they got to have, so they know what they need to close every month so they can have a paycheck, a regular paycheck rolling. And if they work harder and put some more money into it, they get a bigger paycheck, right? That's how it works. Same thing for real estate investing. The thing we love about creative real estate investing, and there's a trend, yes, only because it's being promoted and things are happening, right? And creative real estate investing, it's never left. It's always there. Some people go, oh, that's great for the last cycle. It's great when this happens, that happens. No, it's great every time, because life happens to people, right? You just kind of dig and maneuver and be able to do creative real estate investing, wholesaling. Hey, it's a natural progression. Does it work for commercial? Yes. Does it work for storage units? Yes. Does it work for hotels and motels? Yes. Apartment buildings? Yes. Just got to find a distressed situation. Define where, maybe it's multifamily. And they're like, I'm tired of this. I just want to get my money. I want to retire. Okay, let's save some taxes. It's undervalued, and maybe it needs some work, because you let them, get thrashed a little bit, and, you kind of let things go. So it's a perfect opportunity to step in, get some creative real estate going, some creative selling, and figure out a way to keep on giving them a check, because they're used to getting a paycheck. And if you tell them they're going to get a paycheck continuously and still get the number they want, It's almost like a no-brainer, right? It's a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you do it? You'd be an idiot not to. You want to have capital gains taxes for a little bit, depending on how you structure it and things of that nature. FYI, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a CPA, so don't take it as such, right? For entertainment purposes, the Amp Live Real Estate Show, I'm Erick Paul, AHA Americans Helping Americans and Amp Live, turning up the gears a little bit. But I did want to share that story because it was awesome. And the main thing about the story was, yeah, it's the power in numbers. You have to believe it. Extraordinary things can happen. And that's our goal and mission since 2010. You know, in 2003, I didn't know that. I knew that there was something there when I wanted to do this real estate business, and that it would morph into eventually something like what we're doing. And then the next cycle is going to morph again, right? We're preparing for that now. We're gearing up. So hopefully you should be gearing up for 2023, 24, 25, 26, and 27, right? Get ready. Get ready to rock. Get ready to watch your fellow Americans and help other people and get them involved in the business. And even if they want to keep their JOB or career, that's cool. You know, they can do a deal or two every year, a deal every quarter. Every quarter is, you know, vacation money, a house, or putting their kids to college, right? And that's the way it should be. That's America. You have the opportunity to do it on a part-time freaking basis. And it can be done. But you got to have, you know, the processes. You got to understand the processes. You got to understand the art of the deal, and then understand how to maneuver, right, and structure a deal for your seller and for your buyers and for your investors and for yourself if you're going to keep and buy and hold. So wanted to kind of talk about that because we've been getting some crazy sellers and buyers, investors. You know, it's kind of like all over the place, but it's okay. You know, the main thing is vet your buyers, vet your sellers, right? Vet your investors or people that you work with, period. It's just become a giant vetting process because all this stuff is lovely. And you got people on TikTok and Instagram and even people actually going there like it's Google and looking for answers and then getting some information, which is fine. You can get the information, but when you go and look at some of these people, are like, okay, man, this got started, right? Maybe they did a few deals and now they're coaching and they're doing this and they're doing that. Or, hey, there's some cool stuff. I like watching the videos because they're damn not the real estate ones, but the funny ones. All right, Amanita, I don't know how that is. The hell is that? Amanita sounds something. That's weird. Okay. Anyways. But yeah, if you got any comments, put that down below. Deals, right? And people will argue about this too. I've been through the argument up and down. Fall and winter. Best deals you're going to get are going to be fall and winter, okay? So go out there and hustle, which is awesome because if you're not, we are, others are, they're going to get the deals. So then the ones that don't do it say, oh, there's never deals because they don't go out and hunt them because they're too busy. I get it. Go to the Christmas party, go to this, go to that, family. They got Thanksgiving, they got Christmas, they got New Year's, they got parties to go to and stuff, right? I get it. But the ones that are grinding all the way through, and it don't even have to be a grind because once it becomes your core and it becomes your lifestyle, like us and me and you, eventually, and other mentees across the United States of America, then it's a lifestyle. It's like breathing, right? It's like drinking water. It's like walking. It's easy peasy and you do it in your freaking sleep. You do it at Disneyland. You do it in Florida. You do it at the theaters. You do it whenever because it's about freedom. And, you know, freedom is whatever you want it to be, right? Success is whatever you want it to be. Nobody can define what success is for you. Nobody can define what freedom is for you. For me, it was being able to not have a boss, even though, yes, sellers are bosses, people are bosses, clients are bosses, mentees. You can say whatever you like, right? But it depends on however you frame it, right? And in the early years, I used to like track my hours. I got to make sure to see how much I'll make in an hour. I got to make sure and see, man, I'm not doing those 80, 90 hours on this deal, right? I got to be doing 10 to 20 hours and make my bank. And then, you know, if I'm doing more than that, then my hourly rate drops. So I did a lot of that the last cycle, but it's okay. It's just documentation and it helps. It's part of the process. You'll probably go through it too. Getting a little parched here, but, you know, that's part of it. If you're just getting in and you're spinning your wheels and trying to figure out what's right for me, or, you know, you got, you paid for a program and that didn't work out. You paid for some videos and that didn't work out, and you got a bunch of PDFs, or you paid for a group and it's kind of working out, but you can't get your answers. You ask a question, and there's 3 hours of mumbo jumbo, and your stuff never gets answered, or you send a deal and then it doesn't happen, doesn't close, or you put in a deal and they're going, well, I'm not sure about this, I'm not sure about that. It could be anything, right? At the end of the day. Or maybe you joined a club, or it's a meetup group, or what we used to call them RIAs in the last cycle, right? They're just meetup groups now, right? Or they're doing hybrids, right? Of having a brokerage and a real estate investor, and as part of a club and all kinds of stuff, right? Which is awesome, I think, if it's maintained with integrity and maintained, everybody's transparent and knows what the hell's going on within the organization. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff out there, but when you don't know, you don't know, right? That's the part that sucks, right? When you don't know, when you don't understand what needs to happen in a process, you got to try to figure it out, right? And trial and error, trial and error, trial and error, trial and error. That's what I did to get all up and running. Trial, error, test, study, test, study. And then once I got some traction, started figuring things out, and then I started, I guess, pray for it, right? People coming to me, people coming to the table to help with the organization, right? Mentees started coming to the table, or mentors, sorry. And then, but I had to ask, right? Mentors come to the table, because I'm selling them a deal. But that's God finally clicking in my brain and going, well, hey, pick their brains, offer to buy them lunch. How can you be of service to them, right? Bring tremendous value to them so they can help you. If you like what they're doing and you want to see what they're doing, and for them to share that with you, which are intimate things that in their business that are probably, their secret hot sauce here and there, then you need to bring that tremendous value to them, or they're not going to work with you. That's what I did. So I had to go through a lot of the blood, sweat, and tears, working 80, 90 hours a week, raising the family, 3 kids, wife, bills, blah, 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 all kinds of crazy shit, licensing, all kinds of stuff, right? And then still, we're going after the business to say, hey, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And your friends and family saying, yeah, you can, but down underneath they're saying, what an idiot, what an idiot. Oh, you're going to fail. Oh, it's bullshit. I hope you fail, right? Because, they don't want you to rise higher than them. But then, if you have the faith, and that's God and Satan, right? Both working, saying, you can do this. Yeah, you can do this. What I mean? You got both of those peeps on your shoulder. What it takes is, you got perseverance. So, I did prepare myself. I read Think and Grow Rich for a long time. I studied it. It became my core. Nothing could hammer and get me down, but there's some times when I did, right? I had to kill it. I had to kill the NMA, negative mental attitude, with a positive mental attitude. And I give everybody 3 chances. If you're negative, positive once, positive twice, positive 3 times. If I'm not converting you to PMA, and they're like, man, this guy is tiring. You can't get this guy down. You know what? Then they're like, hey, yeah, you know what? You're a cool bird, this, that. They start becoming positive because it's contagious. And it's like, I guess if I can't beat them, I'm going to join them. And if I can't do that after 3 shots, and they're still coming at you, man, like this and that and blah, 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 and always complaining, whining, crying, bitching, all kinds of shit, you know what? Hey, that's cool. You have a good day in a nice way, and see you later. Goodbye. Move on. Cut them from your life until they adapt or change. And if they don't, then they're just permanently severed from my life anyways, because I don't need them. Life's too short. You save all that juicy awesomeness for your family and your friends and other people that you want to, like-minded people that you want to be with. And that's super important. And that's where it came from, that movie. I don't know the name of the movie with the young man, right? But it was, it was about love. It was about prayer. It was about unity. It was about the power of prayer and energy, right? And the universe and more than one human being connecting to heal one person, to heal things. And that's the essence, right? That's the essence of AHA. That's the essence of AMP Live. It's the essence of PMA, positive mental attitude. That's what we're all about. And I'm not gonna lie, right? God talked to me, or you say we didn't sit down and have a chit chat, but sometimes we do, right? not gonna lie. I'll sit, I'll be on my knees, I'll be anywhere, and I'll talk to God. And it's never failed me, right? You got to pay the dues. And when he's ready, or when you're ready, he'll unleash and open up those doors for you, only when you are. And that's the beauty of the universe and life and how things work. Not to say that I know all the answers, because I don't. I'm just speaking from experience and what it's done for me. When people are, we all get depressed, right? We all get sick, or things happen, right? Things don't go your way. Start second guessing yourself and things of that nature. Don't do that. But it's going to happen, right? You can say, you can't do that. Well, it's going to happen. We're all going to do it. We're human beings. We're all kind of like, we're all the same, but we're different. And that's what makes us unique. So being in that situation of saying, well, hey, just don't do it. Well, I guess that's kind of being hypocritical, right? You're going to do it. But others, spilt milk, as I always say, people's spilt milk is bigger than other people's spilt milk, right? I can like freak out over something. Someone else goes, what's wrong with you, man? That's not a big deal. And then others can freak out on something that I would go, that's not a big deal. Relax, chill out, okay? And people will call it whatever. You're insensitive. You're this, you're that. No, it's just life. It's business. Let's go. Come on, get up. Let me help you up. Let's rock, right? So and that's what we're here to do. Inspire, motivate you, work with you, right? It is a selection process. Yes, we have the 90-day coaching with interactive mentoring program. That might be better for you. We have a 30-day challenge, and we have a 5 days to a deal challenge. That we did. We did have a undercover case study on how it worked. And the bottom line is that it does, right? The methods work, but you got to show up. You got to do it. We're working on that, massaging it, and then 2023, or maybe during the holidays, we'll have a hybrid and we'll release it for Black Friday, things of that nature. I know Black Friday, we're doing some awesome stuff. Want to come aboard, take advantage of these things. But for sure, 2023, those are for the tire kickers, the people who have a pulse, one-on-one mentoring. Yeah, we got to chat. Click the link down below. Fill out the information. There'll be a survey. If there's a survey and you get it, fill it out. Let's talk. Let's chat. If we can help you in any way, you don't even got to come aboard. We'll chat, build a relationship. This is for the long term. Like I always do, knock on wood, we're going to be here for a couple more cycles or longer. And hopefully pass on the torch to either family or whoever's working with us at the end of the day. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. We're at 38 minutes, okay? So Friday highlights. That's what's going on in the industry, okay? But stay motivated. Stay fired up. The holidays are here. I get it, right? Sometimes you got to buckle down and pray. And if you don't pray, I get it. Buckle down too. Whatever your higher power is at the end of the day. Stand for truth. I stand for truth. Integrity, loyalty, and communication. If you keep those things, nobody can mess with you, right? Nobody can call you on shit because you're always true to you, right? I'm always true to me, and I always will be true to you. If you're looking for somewhere where you want to learn this business, you want to work with people that are going to work with you and vice versa, I'll work with you exclusively as well. If you're a brokerage or a real estate agency and you need some help training, or you need some help with your agents to help them dominate that area or your area, reach out. Want to do a friendship deal? We got deals in the pipeline from the East Coast to the West Coast, everything in between, okay? And they keep on getting stacking them up. We're going to take advantage of these. Yes, I get it. People are going, oh, I don't want to fix and flip because people can't buy a house. Yes, they can. People can buy a house. I think the thing I heard was from an agent trying to get a deal, right? Some unscrupulous crap, right? But the bottom line was, oh, yeah, no, the real buyers come out. There's real buyers throughout the whole year, 365 days a year. So that's all bullshit, right? What you're going to get is a bunch of investors going to make offers on your house for sure. Yeah. Real buyer means that, hey, they've probably been looking since spring and summer, and the prices are dropping because things are slowing down, and agents are lazy and not showing properties, or sellers not wanting to put their house on the market, or they do put it on the market because they have to, right? And the agents maybe not working as hard, or maybe they are, but it's just circumstance. And the market is slowing down, so the prices are going to drop, and the property is going to be on the market a little longer. Then they're going to go, hey, this happens to be, this works. I love the house. The price is right. Then negotiated the price down. Maybe you got some concessions. You got an awesome agent that's going to kick ass and get you a good deal. or the seller's agents like, hey, I know they're super flexible, whatever. I'm just saying because I'm seeing it in the industry and it's happening. Happens every cycle or every season, every year. And the bottom line is that that's what's happening. They get into the house and will it close, in 30 days, 45 days, 60 days? Just depends, right? That's going to be all. They'll make excuses. Oh, it's this, it's the holidays, it's whatever. Some deals will close, some deals won't. But it does slow down. And I get, people say, oh, no, it doesn't. It's the ones that are rocking and rolling, it doesn't because they're always going, right? But for the ones that are sporadic, and it's just, come on, it's human nature. It's like Walmart. Walmart and Amazon are your gauge, mostly Walmart, right? When you go into a store and they're getting closer and closer, right? It was October, and 2 months before that, they're already putting out their Halloween shit. So it's the same thing, right? It's going to happen. Think about it. If people are in the holidays and they're going and doing this and they're doing that, or if they got a distressed situation, they inherited a property, or they want to sell it without an agent, or they want to sell it with an agent, they put it on the market, and they got to make, who wants to move in winter? Depending on where you're at in the United States, unless you're in California, cool. It's not that bad. A little chilly. But if you're in the Midwest, fuck, who wants to move in the winter, right? Nobody. East Coast, who wants to move in the winter even during storm season, whatever, right? That's why properties don't move as fast, but you'll find the sweetest deals. If you can work it out with a seller and provide a solution, then they're going to sell to you. And if they like you, they're going to sell to you, right? It's all about the art of the deal and providing those solutions to the seller. Now, if you can do that, you got to hammer away, right? That's why you got to become the expert. We want to help you become the expert, right? Our goal is to get you as good as an appraiser without having a license, to get you as good as an agent or broker and breaking down deals and doing your comps without having licenses, right? Now, not that we don't promote it. It is what it is, right? And I'll give you my 2 cents on that. You probably don't want to hear it, but license is license. You're not going to learn how to do real estate by getting a license, right? That's because a few people messed it up for a bunch of good people. And then the government comes in and tries to regulate the shit. And then they call a real estate agent a professional. But there's people who do real estate and know a lot more than a real estate agent right out of the gate. You just got to memorize some shit, take a test, and you get a license. So who's the government tell you your license? Oh, now you can go sell. It just means you're regulated, you're in the system, they can track it and all that bullshit. I get it, right? You still got to go through your training, probably another 6 to 12 to 2 years before you actually find a home. Same thing in real estate investing, right? Instead, you're going to be looking, you're going to be trying to learn, figure out how to train. You're going to go to YouTube University. You're going to hit all the, TikToks and Instagrams and join this and join that and get on your email list and, $47, $97, $2,000. If you got a couple of bucks, you're going, man, I got to invest in myself. You go to a webinar, seminar, 3-day boot camp, something, right? And eventually maybe it's going to be $8,000. You're going to join this program, $10,000, $27,000, eventually $50,000, right? And it'll happen because it happens every single freaking day. I always say, hey, $50,000, I'll show you how to go buy 5 houses in Ohio, right? Give us $1 million in California, I'll show you how to buy 10 houses in California. The average price, $700,000, $800,000, $900,000. Right? The average investor maybe buy one. That's just the reality of it. I want to share that with you. I want to share what 1 to 3% of American real estate investors really, truly know how to do, right? And then there's older dogs that, hey, they know it, but they don't do it. They don't want to. I got cash. I want to do cash, right? I get it. And that's awesome. But, hey, we love the art of the deal. Love to have you come aboard. If you have questions, put them in the comments or reach out to amplive.net, americanshelpingamericans.net. You can always hashtag #GetErickPaulLive, hashtag #GetErickPaulLive. We'll go through some of these things so you can see them. There's a ticker down below. Erick, Friday highlights of AHA, Americans Helping Americans, and Amp Live, the American Mentee Program, sponsored by VIP Execs and Amp Live Media. Reach out, click the link. We'd love to speak with you, love to talk with you. If you got deals, send them down the wire. If you'd love to join the 5 days to a deal challenge, click that link down below. Let's chat. Want to be part of a 30-day challenge? Click the link down below and let's chat. Love to speak with you. Let me see what we got here real quick. Sorry. Turn this off. And run some of these captions here. You go there to Americans Helping Americans, right down there. If you're interested in picking up deals, you want to become a VIP buyer, or you have deals and you just I don't want to pick up a hammer. I just want to write a check, get a check back. And that's what I was doing last week, a couple weeks ago, meeting with some awesome investors. People just want to write a check and want to figure out how we can do some business together here in California as well as throughout the United States, because there's deals being done everywhere. So That's going to be part of our gearing up for 23, 24, right? We want to start gearing up to head down up and down the United States of America as we're doing this. Then we got become a first trusted investor with us. Okay. Now, this is just like I said, for entertainment purposes. Bottom line is we call them friendship deals. If you're looking to do a deal, you just want to write a check and get a check back. You want to invest in some real estate, or you're looking for property, and you want to buy some, we'll chat. We do a soft commitment, do one of these, or we can do it live. Excuse me. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'm a little parched still. You can go here and become a VIP buyer. I got the winter coat going on here. Usually do that in November, December. After that, I don't wear it all month long because I don't like beards and like wearing all that shit. Especially when you're going out talking with sellers, right? They deserve to have your best. They deserve me or you to be at their best, right? Because that's what we represent. They want to work with a professional. They want to be able to trust that person. Not that having a beard is not trustworthy, but there's studies on it. All right. Follow us on Facebook. Okay. Instagram. Yes, there's some TikTok and there's some YouTube. There's LinkedIn. There's Getter, Truth Social. All of them. Right now we're streaming live to, I believe, about 4 or 5 platforms. We'll be connecting to more platforms as we move forward in 23, 24. So check them out. You'll see us on all the other, social media platforms. Like I said, this is being streamed to about a handful of them live. You can also go to amplive.net. Check out the Mentee program. That's the mentoring program where we train and mentor people 7 days a week. Check it out. Reach out down below. We'd love to chat with you. And I already mentioned the hashtag, right? Yeah, that's right. Amplify the heart of the deal. That's awesome stuff, right? That's what you need to do. It's mindset. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move on here. But there's deals out there. Go after those pre-foreclosures. Go after the inherited properties. They're out there. People are inheriting properties and want to get rid of them, especially during the holidays, right? They don't want the headaches. They don't want to deal with broken pipes. They don't want to deal with all of this and that. It's winter, and who wants to go out and check on a property when they want to be home with their loved ones? They're like, man, I just want to get rid of this damn property, right? That's where you come in. That's where the investor comes in. That's where we come in. Make them an offer they can't refuse to a degree. And there's different scenarios that we love to walk you through. And that's how that would work, right? For sale by owners, same thing. Well, my house is not selling, this and that, or I don't have the money to fix it, or I don't want to pay a real estate agent, or you're going to come across one that, hey, they're just motivated. They're willing to work with you. For sale by owners are potential leads as well. Depending on where you're getting them to, what I call verticals, surfing for deals, text, ringless voice message, right? You're doing Facebook ads, Google ads, who knows? Doesn't care, doesn't matter. Just as long as you're working those leads as they come down the wire and you have a process, right? You have a method to the madness and don't shit can the leads, but you should be good at doing them. I won't get into all the other stuff with what you can and cannot do or shouldn't do, but get out there and make things happen. That's what it's about. It's about showing up. If you don't show up to the party, then shame on you, right? Like I mentioned, hashtag get Erick Paul. You want to learn the art of the deal? The art of the deal is all about creative real estate investing, but what the art of the deal is going to help you become the expert and help you dominate in your area. That is the secret sauce for you, right? That is what's going to make you different from the rest in your area. Guarantee it. If you learn it, if you learn that, and we're willing to share that with you, right? It's a selection process. Click the link down below. And if you're selected and we're a good fit, we want to help you. Doesn't matter where you're at. East Coast, Midwest, California here. We want to work with you and help you build your legacy, help you with your goals or whatever it is that you want to do in life. We're here for you. It's a cause and mission that started several years ago. Yes, it's God-driven. It's family-driven. It's me-driven, right? It's AMP, American Mentee Program, PMA, Positive Mental Attitude. Without further ado, rock and roll in all that you do. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here because we went into about 49 minutes. Let's see, we got SoCal. There's a meetup group. No, those aren't too hot and juicy right now, but it is what it is. You can go to the meetup in SoCal. We got one in Orange County and one in Northern California. If there's we'd love to open up more throughout the United States. If that makes sense for people, then we'll do it. Okay, and then we're going to go back to the Amp Live Real Estate Show. Okay, once again, I'm your host, Eric Paul of the Amp Live Real Estate Show. AHA Americans helping Americans, one American at a time, one property at a time, doing our part to get America back on track together with you across the United States of America. And Amp Live, the American Mentee Program, the only program of its kind where we train 7 days a week, if needed, you and others across the United States of America, one-on-one. And we're sponsored by VIP Execs, helping out with all this good stuff here, and Amp Live Media. Okay, so click the link down below. We'd love to reach out. Go check out the blog. There's social media. There's tons of videos on Amp Live, the Facebook group. Connect PM. Well, PM me if you want to chit chat and talk. Somebody will get in touch with me, or it might be me. Boom, it pops up on the phone. Awesome, I'll chat with you, right? Open door policy. Okay, so it's my voice is getting a little jacked up here. But as always, thank you for taking the time. Watch the video. You're always going to get some awesome nuggets of information. We're here to help you. Let's get you out of the JOB and into the lane of a Maverick, right? And we'll forge together. United we stand, right? And we move forward. And then, hey, when you're ready to branch off, that's the goal. Branch off an office with us or branch off on your own. Your goal, help you build your office and help you build your brand. We're here to help you do that, okay? We're not here to make you lead generators or runners. Hey, if we need that, we'll tell you straight up. Hey, we're going to bring you into the office. You're going to be a runner. That's your job. That's all you're going to do, right? You got 30 days. Work with us. 30 days, make us money. We write you a check. You stay. If you don't, goodbye. You got to go. That's what we did last cycle. We don't do it too much now because of different model or business model. But there are people that we want to give people a shot, right? And as we continue to pivot and maneuver, you always got to be moving, right? It's a living organism. So, you know, if you really, really want to think you got what it takes and you're willing to hammer and you want to get out and learn this business and you're willing to, you know, hey, blood, sweat, and tears, then we'll work with you. Either way, okay? But, you know, there's a lot of bullshit out there. So, and what I mean by that is even people that come to us and say, yeah, I'll do this, I do that, then they don't show up. Or I'm going to do this and do that and do that. But there's always an ulterior motive. I get that, right? Same for us. But it's pretty cut and dry. You come in, you do a certain thing. If you're acquisitions, this is what you do. If you're dispo, this is what you do. Lead coordinator, this is what you do, right? Part of the core, this is what you do. Outside of the core and part of the village is what you do, and outside of that, right? So, you know, it's all abstract for me anyways. You may not get it, may not understand it, but you will if you work with this, right? Our goal is to help you. So rock and roll in all that you do. Be safe out there. Be aware. People are doing some crazy, stupid shit out there right now on a different level. But focus, take care of your family, help your fellow Americans, okay? It's okay to help your fellow Americans. We all bleed red. So it doesn't matter about what side you're on, this and that. We're all Americans, okay? And that's the way it should be. That's what America's all about. So help your fellow Americans. Don't be a sheep. Don't follow what you see in the rhetoric that's all over TV and bullshit. Follow your heart, follow your gut, and rock and roll in all that you do, okay? You have an awesome one. Have an awesome weekend, and we'll see you next Friday. And don't forget, we're going to have some Sunday rants and Mindset Money Monday, okay? We got some 30-day challenges, 5-day challenges coming down the wire. Love to speak with you. You have a good day. Bye-bye.